Okay, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Um, Hope you had a nice morning till now. Today we are going to be having a virtual consulting office presentation. My name is Anand Padmanabhan, and I'm a research associate professor at the Department of Geography and GI Science at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And for iGuide, which is the Institute of Geospatial Understanding through an Integrative Discovery Environment, I serve as the managing director. Today, we are going to have a presentation from Eric Lee. He is one of our research programmer here at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and he is a key member of our iGuide, what we call as the core CI capability and services team, which is responsible for the iGuide's cyber infrastructure. So today he's going to be starting us off with a brief presentation on how to get started on iGuide. This is going to be a very uh, a 101 kind of a presentation just on how to get started, but just to get you thinking. And of course, like after this, if you have questions, or comments or anything that you want to hear more, we are happy to learn about that, as well as like say if you have a certain problem that you think might be suitable for the iGuide platform, we would be happy to work with you on that. So with that, I would pass on the baton to Eric. Again, we will like this to be a conversational thing. So anytime I would say, feel free to stop us, ask questions, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of time for discussion as well. Thank you. And Eric, take it over.
Yeah, thanks, Yanal. And hello, everybody. So it will be my honor to briefly introduce our iGuide platform. And let me share my screen first. Okay. Hopefully you could see my screen. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, awesome. Yeah, so like Anand said that feel free to stop me anytime if you have questions, but also feel free to email me or Anand afterwards if you have any follow-up. So I will provide my contact later. So welcome to this virtual consulting office. So the purpose of this presentation is to showcase our iGuide platform to you. So please be noted that this is not going to be super technical. So this is 101. So if you have any, technical related questions, feel free to email me. And I'm Eric Lee. So I work for the CyberJS Center at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And so I'm also part of the iGuide Core Cyber Infrastructure Capabilities and Services team. So today we're basically going to cover a short introduction of what iGuide is. And then I will walk you guys through the platform, including the Jupyter Hub, the data catalog, and also the ways to seek technical support from us. Followed by that, I will give a demo and talk about the future state of the iGuide platform. So what is iGuide? So it stands for Institute for Geospatial Understanding through an Integrative Discovery Environment. So with all the first letters, so we call ourselves iGuide, and we are proudly funded by NSF. So iGuide is a intercollegiate collaboration. Also, we have some scientific organizations participate as well. So for university, we have University of Illinois, Purdue, Utah State, Michigan State, and University of Minnesota, and a lot more. And we have Quasi, which studies hydrology, and UCGIS, which is also interested in discovering data science in geography. So we have 6 major areas of focus, and then we divided them into intellectual merit and broader impacts. So we have Convergent Science Catalyst team, which do research related to geography. And we have geospatial AI and data science, which focuses on machine learning and data science models and how they can impact geospatial studies. And apparently we have core CI capabilities and services team, which handles the platform itself. And we also have an education and workforce development, which focuses on how to educate people or in this area using our tool and help companies or organizations to develop their workforce. And this VCO or Virtual Consultant Office is part of the engagement and partnerships team. And we also have the evaluation and knowledge transfer. And we want to spread our knowledge and not just contain those within ourselves. So just imagine that you're about to start a new geospatial project. So apparently, it's very likely that you will have a very big spatial data set. For example, like the shape files, which can be very big if it has a lot of polygons or other geographic shapes in it, which will lead to a very heavy computation. So for example, I was working on a project before using simple feature, and while doing the overlay function, which basically categorized the data based on shapefile, and that just took a very long time. So like I said, so you might have to deal with data storage due to the size of the data and the limitation on memory. That's because of the heavy computation. And then you have to maintain your infrastructure. And last but not least, there's a scalability issues. So for example, you're working on a very small data set using a very powerful machine, or you're working on a very big and complicated project, but using a very weak machine. So we want to avoid those scenarios. So what could you do with that? So you could maybe upgrade your infrastructure, but that's very expensive and very time consuming. You have to have the knowledge to expand the infrastructure and then migrate your content to or data to a new machine. And that could also lead to a waste of resource. So because most of the time you don't have to use those very powerful machines, but you don't really want to upgrade your infrastructure just for a single project, right? Or you can just wait, but it's a waste of time. And also when you're working on debugging, so it could really slow you down because it takes time for you to realize that you have to fix an issue in the code. So we introduce our IGA platform as a solution to that. So it is browser-based, which means it's very easy to use and it's very portable. So you can just set up a new machine and then log into the same account, and then your data will be there, your scripts will be there, your project will be there. So it's always accessible using as long as you have the same account access. It's remote, which means your data are stored safely on our server, and you don't have to worry about infrastructure maintenance because we will be taking care of that. So like I mentioned, the IGA platform has two major user-facing components. So the first one is the Jupyter Hub, which provides our researchers and developers a very powerful cloud infrastructure. And we also have Data Catalog, which is a knowledge base for the academia. This is a very simplified diagram of the structure of IGA platform. So like I said, that we have Jupyter Hub, which is part of the compute. So we have a high performance computing infrastructure that supports the programming and analysis of your script. And the data catalog is part of the catalog part, which we use a database to store all the terminologies and ontologies on that. And which we want to achieve. If we want to achieve data on demand, then we have to have a place to store all of your data. And that's where the storage comes into effect. That's where your data is stored safely on our server, and you can access that anytime as long as you have the internet access. So how to use our Jupyter Hub. So if you go to our iGuide website at i-guide.io, so some of you might know that we used to use a domain name that's iguide.illinois.edu, but we're slowly migrating to this new domain name. It's easier to memorize and very short, so it doesn't take time to type it in your search box. So after you click the iGuide platform here, and then if you click platform login, so you will be led to the landing page, which you can pick either you want to go to the Jupyter Hub or the data catalog. So if you want to go to the Jupyter Hub, then you click Launch iGuide Notebooks, and then you'll be here. So this is a page which has a lot of examples from our other team members or summer school participants. So these are all the example notebooks. And if you want to take a look at them, so you simply click Open Notebook. And then you need to log in, basically. So we use CI logon as the single sign-on option. So this is very convenient for academia because it supports almost all universities in the US and many more in the world. So if you just simply click sign in with CI logon, and then you just have to complete the single sign-on process based on your institution. So afterwards, you will see server options. So you want to click iGuide platform instead of the summer school one. And after you select this, you just click start. And then it might take about 15 minutes to set up your account and to copy the notebooks into your directory. So this is what it looks like after you open a example notebook. And as you can see, if you use Jupyter Hub a lot, then this interface is very familiar. So we have our directory on the left-hand side, and then we have our notebook per se on the right-hand side. And this notebook is runnable, which means as long as you have the right kernel here, so you can run this notebook just like on your own machine. So make sure that you have the right kernel. So a kernel is a process that's built in the Jupyter Hub notebook. So because this notebook is using R, so you want to make sure that the right kernel is selected. So it says iGuide EWD-R. So this is the right kernel for this particular notebook. And we have other kernels, including iGuide, iGuide EWD, and the vanilla Python 3. So it's very easy to install and use libraries. We have some built-in ones, but also if your preferred libraries are not included in our pre-build in our building, then you can simply do install packages, or in Python, you can just do a pip install. As usual, you can do data visualizations. So we have ggplot as our built-in. So you can easily plot very colorful maps in your notebook and showcase to your audience. And you can even use leaflet or folium to create interactive maps powered by OpenStreetMap. As you can see here, that you can zoom in and zoom out, or even just drag the map around, and you still see the same information on the static maps. So you might want to ask, what if I want to create my own notebook? So there are multiple ways. So the first one is, so if you have checked one of our examples, then you can simply create one in the same environment, or you can go back to this page and then click login here. So if you have logged in, then you will be redirected to the Jupyter Hub directly. If not, then you will go through the CI logon again. So once you're here, then you click this blue button with a plus sign, and then you will see the launcher. So here you want to select the right kernel. So for example, if you want to write a Python script, then you want to click either iGuide or iGuide EWD. And if you really don't care about any libraries and you just want to start your own from scratch, you can also use the original Python 3 kernel. If you want to work on some R language notebook, then you want to use iGuide-EWD-R. So we're currently supporting Python version 3.11.4. So this is not the latest one, but this is a long-term support version, which means it's very stable. And we want to make sure that we provide the most stable version on our platform. And the same thing applies to our language. So we are using 4.3.1. This is also a long-term support version. We feature a lot of different libraries. So for example, GeoPandas, PyGeos, or NetCDF4, those are GIS related. And we also support other very useful libraries, including Desk, Xarray, and SciPy. So if you have used Pandas before, so Pandas is a data frame libraries that you can manipulate and operate data very easily in a data frame format. And GeoPanda introduced geometric spatial operations on top of pandas, so which is very good for geography research. And PyGeos combines vectorization and geometry functions together. And NetCDF4 handles network common data form, so which is a array-oriented scientific data used by a lot of GIS researchers. So it's basically an interface to the NetCDF C library. So if you have used NetCDF in C or C++, then this is mostly an API. And for other libraries, so Desk is a parallel computing library. So which when you have multi-core infrastructure, then it will speed up your process by spreading your task into smaller jobs and just run those smaller jobs in the parallel format. And Xarray introduced a more human-readable multi-dimensional array operations, including select rows, insert data, and more. SciPy is very famous for scientific computation. So you can basically do anything machine learning or AI related, including linear algebra, or you want to do optimization of your model, or even you want to manipulate images. So SciPy is very handy on that. So you might wonder, since we include the EWD kernel, so EWE stands for Educational Workforce Development. So it has more libraries for more specific uses. So you want to select EWD if you know that you will use those libraries, including GDAL. So it's basically a interface to the geographic data abstraction library. And we have the Rasterio, which handles geospatial raster data. And we have PyCell, which analyzes geospatial vector data. And we also have OSM and X, which is very handy operating the map related to street networks. And we have MPL Leaflet, which combines Matplotlib with Leaflet. So now we're moving on to data catalog. So if you want to access our data catalog, so you simply go to the same website and then click I got platform and platform login. So instead of clicking launch iGuide notebooks, you want to click launch iGuide data catalog. And then you will go to this data catalog page. As you can see here, that you can search any terms that you want. So if your term is included in our database, then you will be able to see the data entry. Or you have no idea what you're actually looking for, just wandering around, then you can click Browse iGuide Catalog, so which will list out all the available terms that we have. So once you are in the list, so you can use the filter here to filter by the time or the author name or the repository here. And on the right-hand side, it's a list of terminologies or data entries that you might be interested in. So if you're going to a specific data entry, you can see the name or title of the data and the URL to the original place, a short description of the dataset, and its related keywords. Since this is a GIS project, apparently we have a field for you to show the map. As you can see here, so this map shows a geo shape in Europe, and it's very visual that you can see the map related to this data entry. So those are the two major components in our iGUIDE platform. And once you are getting into it, so you might encounter some issues or problems or questions, we have a team to support you on that. So if you go to our main page, and there is a contact us button here. So if you click that, you will be led to the contact page. So you can type your email and you can subscribe to our email list. Or if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can always click email us at, so our email, support email is help@i-guide.io. So those are on the presentation slides. So how about let's just go to the actual iGUIDE platform, and I can show you how to do that on our website.
Maybe before we do that, if there are questions, I know there was one question in the chat, but if there are other questions also, we can take that. Uh, so the one question in the chat was about comparing the iGuide platform with other environments out there, like I guess Google Colab or just other Jupyter Hub environments. So, Eric, you want to take that first, and then maybe I can chime in as well.
Yeah. So I would say that iGuide is more focusing on the GIS related libraries, and we are even thinking about expanding the power that it provides. So we are always actively improving our platform, including adding more GPUs and just migrate our platform to a even more powerful infrastructure. So I personally am not familiar with HydroShare, so I don't know if Anand, you are at a better place to answer this part.
Yeah, let me try and answer this in some ways, and maybe this we can have a discussion on this. It doesn't need to be a one-way answer. So first thing, as Eric said, we have geospatial libraries and installed by default, and we plan to provide many kernels which have specific geospatial libraries. Uh, there are so that's one thing, I guess, so that's given that we have more of the geospatial stuff there. The second thing would be like, say, this platform is based on our years of research that we have done, and in terms of supporting computational reproducibility. So we develop the kernels and we have solutions that are in a way developed that um, if you have your code and things like that, which are developed for a older version of the software, the way that we build the platform and the without getting into all the technicalities, the way that we have kernels supported, um, it there is a good possibility that you have reproducibility of many of the notebooks um, held for multiple years, which is one of the key things that I think differentiates us from many of the other things. And the third thing, which again is a key differentiator, is through our platform, you are able to access high performance computing resources. So we have tools. Of course, this was kind of a 101 presentation, and Eric did not go into those details, but we have tools where you could leverage some of our HPC environments or high performance computing environments, and we are also looking at maybe even supporting cloud environments as well in the future. So if you have a problem which scales or which cannot be done within a single Jupyter environment because either it's memory limited or CPU bound, whatever it is, then we have abilities and solution to easily translate it to a HPC environment. So I think these would be the three major.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think that totally makes sense.
yeah, so to add on that, so we are currently free of charge. So we're part of NSF. So this infrastructure is yours to use. And also we have a very dedicated support team behind. So you can always reach out if you have any technical questions, and we are here to answer. So I would say those are also some highlights from our platform that we provide.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Mohammed, does it answer kind of your question? Like, I know you had this question, and if there are other things that we would be able to provide
No,
clarifications on, I'll be happy
I
to do
think
that.
no, I think the question, the answer was clear enough, because at least one library that I always struggle with, and that's even on local machines. I'm not talking about
GDAL,
cloud
yeah.
infrastructure, GDAL.
Yeah,
Exactly.
GDAL. Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that we know the problems with DDAL, but yeah, we do
Yeah.
have those and other things. But I think it's not just the libraries. I think that's the key point I wanted to make. Like, we
Yeah.
have the libraries, of course, but we also have like the the scalability to higher infrastructure and the computational reproducibility. And our hope would be, as this project moves along, you saw those three pieces of the catalog and the platform. Those would be mostly seamlessly integrated within an environment. So the data sets on the catalog are able to be directly accessed on the platform and maybe even directly on the HPC kind of. That's the vision we are working towards.
That's amazing. And can the community contribute to those data sets and publish their own data sets in your platform?
Yes, the communities can. Within, so we rely on kind of infrastructures like HydroShare and others. For example, if you're from the water community, you can publish in HydroShare, and like data sets from the HydroShare are directly linked. So we are not a repository as such. So we don't maintain the data in our systems, but we connect to the data set and catalog these data sets.
It's amazing. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Any other questions before we move on to the demo part? If not, like Eric, maybe you can take it away to the demo.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing my browser here. So this is our website, and if you want to access Jupyter Hub, so like I said, you go to this IGUIDE platform tab and then click platform login. And then here you will be led to this landing page, and you click launch IGUIDE notebooks. And here you can see all these examples notebooks that you can explore. And we just added 2 new notebooks here. And if we, let's say we open this one, then you want to click IGUIDE platform, and then it will take a few seconds to set up. And then you can see this notebook from other researchers. And if you want to create your own notebook, so you click this plus sign here, and then you can select whatever language that you are looking for. So either Python or R. And then it's very easy to switch kernel as well. You can switch it to, let's say, okay, I actually want to work on R. Then it's very easy and seamless. So if you want to, so this is the Jupyter Hub. As long as you're familiar with, how to use these tabs, so it's the same as your local Jupyter notebook. And the good part is you can also see the data that other projects use. And then you have your own directory, which you can store all of your data here in different folders or subfolders. So if you want to access data catalog, so we go to the same landing page and then launch IGUIDE data catalog, then you will see this page here that you can search the terms that you're looking for. And then all of these related data entries will be displayed here. Or you can simply browse all the catalog. And you can filter that by time. Or the data temporal coverage, if you select that. And you can also type in author's name or the repository that is part of. If we clear the filter, then it will show everything available. And if you enter a specific data entry, then you will see the name and the URL where this data originally from, a short description if you're curious what that actually is, and the keywords. And you can see the information of the creator, resource content, and here you can see the map related to this data. And you can zoom in, zoom out. And if you're interested in what this data could lead to, then we have related resources as well that could help you explore even more related data. And we make sure that we will tell you how you could use this data. So we have a license section, which tells you how to, whether you have the permission to use the data and how to cite it. And we definitely give a place for our data provider and publisher, and feel free to explore, even more data on their website as well. So this is the data catalog. And if you're interested in asking more questions, you can always click contact us. And you can subscribe to our email list. We usually send that by weekly or monthly. And you can always email us via this email address. So that is a quick walkthrough. And then I will go back to the slides. Again, feel free to stop me anytime if you have any questions. So let's talk about the future of IGA platform, at least the near future. So we want to integrate HyperCube, which is a software or a web application developed by iGuy, which uses machine learning models to extract geographic terms from an article. And we also want to integrate body of knowledge to the data catalog. So the body of knowledge is originally developed by UCGIS, and it's very easy to use, and you could search geographic terms and ontologies on that. We also want to improve the connection between our Jupyter Hub and data catalog. So eventually our vision is for users to search terms directly without leaving Jupyter Hub. And we are always increasing our computational power on our platform, including more GPUs and better equipment for data for machine learning. So you might be interested in what exactly is HyperCube. So this tool eventually allows you to upload your own article, and then it will highlight any geographic or temporal related terms. And if by any chance those terms are locations, so they will be highlighted on the map as well. And you can add a buffer zone on one of those locations. And it will also show you the geolocation information of all of those locations. They are from the article. And the UCGIS body of knowledge is a page where you can search all the terminologies related to geography and their relations or ontologies. And our vision is to include all of these knowledge base into our data catalog. So like I mentioned that this VCO is not super technical, but we do have another VCO recorded on January 17th, 2024, hosted by Jeff. And so this VCO is more about the technical side and the infrastructure side of IGAT platform, other than a hands-on. So I will also post the link later to that VCO. So if you're interested in knowing more about the technical side of our IGAT platform, so you could watch the recording of that VCO. And thank you so much for your time. So I have my email here. I'll also include my email later on Zoom. So if you have any questions related to this specific VCO, feel free to email me. However, if you have any technical questions related to our IGAT platform, so I'll encourage you to email us at help@i-guide.io. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. That concludes the presentation. So maybe we'll open up for any questions or maybe general questions regarding what Eric presented, or even on iGuide in general, or iGuide platform for that matter. Okay, if no questions, then we will adjourn this VCO. We'll post the recording as well as the slides online on the iGuide website. As well as then thanks, Eric, for sharing the slides in the chat as well. So it's available there.
Yep. So I will upload the recording of this VCO as well as my slide to our iGuide website VCO list.
And thank you everyone for attending. We'll have another VCO in 2 weeks and hope to see you there. Thank you all.
Thank you all.